Oh, you're still watching this stuff? I decided, since I started cleaning this up, I'm going to go ahead and get the hydraulic pump off, all the PTO gearbox, and all the snap coupler stuff to make it easier to clean. Get these cotter pins out. This one's for the draft control for the traction boost. And there's one here that comes up to that control valve that raises and lowers the rear ram. Now that arm's off and get this valve off the top. The O-ring goes in there. Make sure that don't get lost so I get the right size put back in there. It's all flat now, it's going to need to be replaced. Get this arm off for the draft control. I believe there's just 2 bolts and 2 nuts back up here. We'll take the entire pump off the side of the tractor. Move this bolt that holds on the line for the traction booster gauge too. Just swing that out of the way and leave it there so it don't get lost. There's the hydraulic pump. It's basically a camshaft on the main shaft out of the back of the transmitter, or going to the transmission. It just pushes all these plungers. I'm going to get this in the parts cleaner. It's a pretty simple setup. That's just the main shaft that comes back to the transmission. The housing also serves as a hydraulic reservoir and it lubricates everything. It's about as simple as it gets. I decided to leave the PTO gearbox on there. I think I can get cleaned up in and around there good enough and get it repainted without removing it. And I think all the leak came from the valve clear on top that just came down over the years and built up grease and dirt. Doesn't really look like it ever leaked out of there. And the seal seems to be fine on the PTO shaft, so I think I'm going to leave well enough alone there. However, I am going to get this snap coupler assembly removed. Well, that's the end of that socket. I guess snap coupler is going to have to wait for another day. I broke the only 1.1/8" socket I had. I don't have an impact that size. I guess I will going forward. So next time I get a chance, I'll have to pick up a new 1.1/8" socket and an impact socket. All these rollers ride on the lobes. There's 3 pistons that are 11/16 diameter. That's what gives the pump the volume to move hydraulic fluid quickly. And this last one's only 5/16 diameter. That's what makes the high pressure, but it moves a lot slower. On the end you have a knob to adjust the output volume of the pump. This is an adjustment for the directional valve. This linkage rod is what goes back to the snap coupler. There's a big spring on the snap coupler. So as the harder it pulls, it will push this rod forward and shift that. That's how the traction boost works. And how that works is if it pulls hard, it will, if you got a plow on the 2-point, for instance, it will slowly start to raise that, which will put more downward pressure on the rear wheels to give it better traction. It's been a long time since I've run this tractor, so I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's the gist of how it works. The directional valve on top has an oil leak. So we're going to try and get that apart, see if we can get a new seal in there. Then there's a new O-ring goes in the bottom, we'll replace. The rest of the pump, I know it works. So I'm not going to disassemble any of it because there's balls and springs and all kinds of shrapnel to come flying out of there. So I'm just going to leave well enough alone there. Just give it a good cleaning and repaint it. I put it in the vise and got that snap ring removed. That's about a 3-4 handed job. I'll try and slide that out of there. There's the detent ball that goes behind it for the handle position. And there's just an O-ring in there and a felt seal on either end. That one's quite rough. I'm going to need to replace that. I don't have them, but I do have an O-ring kit, so I'll get that O-ring cleaned out. I'll get that O-ring replaced. Some surface rust on the shaft where that outer seal goes, so I'm going to take the scratch brite pad and get that cleaned off. See if we can get these O-rings off without stabbing myself. Okay, I have those two off. I'll get this one off the control valve. Take those washers off before they get lost. That's the right O-ring for that one. That's the right one there. Oh, those are done. Hey, there's the O-rings. Put just a little bit of oil on them. Make sure I don't forget that detent ball. This can go back in. Let's temporarily reinstall that seal for now. I'll get a new one coming for it. I should be able to take that out easy with a pick later on without disassembling the whole thing. Attempt to get this spool back in there. And the ball can go in, followed by the spring. Okay, there's a new O-ring in there. That's ready to reassemble. Okay, that's it for the hydraulic pump. Get it cleaned up, prepped for paint, and we'll put it away in the storage container for now. Going through some boxes of junk the other day up in the barn, I came across this can of Norse oil. It's from Kansas City, Missouri. It was started by a guy that was only 19 years old back in 1904, I think it was. They said it was produced in Omaha, Nebraska from 1925 to 1945. That was about all I could find on the company, so I don't know when they actually went out of business. But the can's in really good shape, and it's full yet, never been opened. So I'll put that on my shelf with my other oil cans I have. I also found this can of cling surface belt dressing. This is designed for flat leather belts, so it's pretty much obsolete. It's got a dent in the back, but it really won't show when it's sitting up on the shelf. I thought it was a pretty neat little can. This one's got a little bit left in it. That's going to do it for this episode. Next one, see what I'm doing here. A little sneak peek on that video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, getting a lot of views. Subscriber count's really been going up lately. I want to thank everybody that's been around or that's new to my channel. I really appreciate every single view I get. If you leave a comment down below, I will reply to it. If you're willing to waste your time watching my stupid videos, then I at least owe you enough to respond to those comments if you put them down below. So I will always do my best to respond to each and every comment that anybody leaves from my channel. Thanks again. Catch you next time.